to my live show. We're streaming this live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. And we're going to talk about your amazing journey. Not just the fact that you made 14,000 in one day recently, but basically redefining yourself, finding yourself. So how far do we need to go back to start that journey?
Oh, wow, that's a good question. I think it's about, we have 21 now. Yeah, it's 10 years.
10 years.
I think it's 10 years. We have to go back 10 years because that was the dark time of my life when everything had been changed in a way I never expected to. And, you know, I had been working for decades and producing books and making books, writing books as ghostwriter to editor and everything like that. But then, you know, everything changed. I lost my main customer, or not customer, you know, publishing house I had been working for. And my husband, he passed away. So from one night to the other, I was there with two little girls and, you know, without income. And that was the beginning of a real struggle. And, you know, yeah, for about 10 years, I had been struggling. And then I had this, you know, depression came up. And of course, as a powerful woman, I have always been, you know, my my main focus was on my daughters to really get them, you know, well and get them through this, somehow trauma. And I gave everything to them, and they were my number one, of course. And
so you focused on them.
Yes.
During your dark time, they were maybe the light for you to focus on something positive, but you didn't prioritize yourself.
No, I forgot about myself, really.
Yeah.
I had been working in the nights because on daytime I had been together with my daughters, and I, you know, kept everything running, and we lived on the countryside, so all the taxi driver things I had to do. So there was a lot of driving to do, and you know, I didn't have any idea, any time, anything really to think about what should I do, what could I develop. And so yeah, I somehow forgot about everything.
You forgot about yourself, but you focused on your daughters.
Yes.
How did you, you know, did you find a job, or how did you have income?
Yes, of course. I had been a freelancer all that time, all those 10 years. And I worked for publishing houses, some famous publishing houses too, some famous authors too. But, you know, always from hand to mouth. I had, you know.
Yeah, you never had more. You just had enough, or barely enough, but nothing more to kind of treat yourself or do any big changes in your life.
Right. And somehow I received this, I made a great job with a famous book, and that became a bestseller. And the publisher, he became millionaire with this book. Wow. Multi-millionaire. So,
and you were the editor, you were the freelancer on that job. So you were
right.
But, you know, did you get anything out of it when they had so much success with the book?
So I received this email. Only one sentence in the email of my publisher. He said, "Oh, hooray, we are bestseller."
Yeah.
And that was the time I thought, okay, but not me. I wasn't bestseller author or bestseller, you know, producer. I gained 3,500 or something like that.
Yeah, 3,500 euro on your contract, but they became a millionaire. Now, obviously, you didn't write the book, you were just editing it, but still something touched you. You thought,
yes,
what is this?
No, I did not only edit the editing, but also, you know, the whole structure, the whole layout also, and, you know, some kind of editing and ghostwriting in one person. Yeah. But I didn't have the self-esteem, I think, to really, you know, have the money I really earned to.
Yeah. Or yeah, you maybe didn't have the self-confidence to ask for
Right.
advice that would have been more applicable.
But
Or
this sentence, this sentence woke me up. I
yeah,
really thought, okay, that can't be possible. This
yeah,
can't be possible. All my knowledge, everything, my creativity inside this book, and this is all I got. So then I thought about how can I change this damn situation? And yes, somehow you came around. I saw you on Facebook, and I observed you. I think about a year. I thought, okay, maybe that's true, maybe that's not true. What she's telling, and so
yeah, maybe.
I always thought, okay, what is she doing? I never heard about something like that. I had never been working online or something like that. I didn't even think about that. So somehow it took a year to really let this drop in,
Yeah.
into my consciousness. And then, I found a new partner.
Yeah.
I think with that, everything started then,
Yeah, it started to bloom, and you started
Yeah.
to pay more attention to yourself and your dreams and
Right.
this,
True. Yeah.
and the daughters may be older as well.
Right. That's true. Yes,
So
everything.
when did you finally say, okay, I'm gonna try this out? Is that 2 years
Yeah.
ago?
It was in July 2019.
Okay, so
That was the time, because my partner is some kind of manager, and he had been always traveling around. He had been in the US and in Norway and in Switzerland and everywhere. And that was the time he was away in Zurich for a week. And I sat here, and I thought, I never wanted to be this woman, sitting in front of my, computer, or in front of my window, or in the kitchen, waiting for the partner, or waiting for the children to come home, finally come home. So I really hated the situation. And I thought, this can't be true. What happened to you, Monika?
Yeah, Monika, yeah. You did some self-talk. Yeah.
Yes, always in those times. Yes.
Yeah. So you asked yourself, how did you end up here? But the answer to that is, how can you change that?
Yes, and I saw this Zomba offer coming up, and it was, the deadline was 10 in the evening, and 10 to 10. I sat here, at this computer, and I really counted the seconds. And I thought, oh my God, you could never, you don't have the money, you don't have the knowledge, you won't get that done, and you are too old. Everything came up, and then I thought, okay, but you want to change something. I didn't want to wait anymore. This waiting situation is so horrible. Yes. And then a few minutes before deadline, or the ending of everything, I pressed the button.
Yeah.
I got nearly a heart attack. And my partner, he came up the stairs then.
Yeah.
At 10, he was in, and I told him what I just did, and he was so excited. Immediately, I was surprised. And in a second, he switched. He put down his suitcase, and he said, okay, let's see what is happening with this woman, Sigrun. And he checked you out. And then he said, okay, there's Sigrun live in 6 weeks or so, 2019. And I will offer you the flight, the hotel.
Oh,
Yes.
So that's beautiful. Beautiful.
It was fantastic. Yes.
Yeah. So then you decided to bet on yourself, and you took all your experience being a freelancer and, writing books, ghostwriter, editor, everything. And I think it took a little bit convincing. I remember that, but you decided to put this all into a course and start to actually teach people to do what you had been doing for decades.
Yeah, right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And were you doubting it in the beginning? Like, will someone want to learn from me? Or
it was a real radical shift, because I had always been, in service of others. Some kind, I'm still in service of others, but I changed sides.
Yeah.
I don't work anymore hidden behind a curtain,
Yeah.
but now I am seen. I can talk from my experience, from my knowledge, from my wisdom, everything I know. I'm not only, I'm not only studied, and produced famous books and things like that. I don't not only know famous people,
Yeah.
artists from all over the world, but I'm a healer too. And so I'm a life coach too, and this is for writing books. This combination of knowledge of methods and writing stuff, topics, and healing knowledge is very, very helpful and supportive. So because every author has a author's or hero's journey while writing the book, and things in the real life come up which can produce some blocks or stress the writer, or things like that, and then we can work with the topic and open the door again for a flow of writing. And this is what I found in the first program I booked with inside Zomba was. It was called Zomba Summer School, nowadays Kickstart.
Yes.
And that was for me, in this pressure or this energy, better to say, energy in this program, really, this brought everything up, my best knowledge up, because I created my first program in the flow of one night.
Yeah.
And that was really a mind shift for me. You can have a mind shift, in only a few hours. My whole life in this night, my whole life changed forever. Really, that happened.
That's a big thing to say. Your whole life changed forever.
Yeah.
You decided to invest in yourself and take a bet on yourself, but then you sit down, and because of this time pressure element, now you have to submit your course that you're going to create. And suddenly in one evening, you were able to just get everything you had ever learned or worked on. And you just said, this is basically a download. Some people call it a download from the universe. But
it really was that. It was not only from the universe, in that night, I made up a whole new writing method. I call it high voltage writing. And at 3 in the night, I checked the internet if this was known already or somehow, and then I found a forgotten, fantastic woman. She's called Gabriele Rico, and she wrote a famous book too, but forgotten. And somehow her method and my, idea of teaching writing, I could find something. And this book I could download for free in that night. Really, this is real. When you make up a decision, or when you are ready to finally commit or jump into the unknown, when you're really, it was the jump in the unknown. So then the universe comes to support you, to support your intention. This is what Goethe says. He always says, make up a strong intention and the universe will follow and support you.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally believe that too.
Yeah.
Basically, you jump into the pool and the net will appear, or you will learn how to swim, or however you want to phrase it, it comes to you. So we will never be ready.
No.
Were you ready, Monika? Were you ready for what was coming for you?
Oh, no. My only luck was, it was this, get rid of this overthinking, This is, I'm really good in that. I can overthink everything. Give me a topic and I can think about it. I studied philosophy too, so I can do that. And this always, kept me from really doing what I always wanted to do. And the energy in this Zomba Summer School. I love this name so much. The summer school, that was fantastic for me. So this energy really put the best out of me.
Yeah.
And I found the connection again. This was really a miracle somehow, because I got the connection back to my inner voice, or to my inner knowing or intuition, whatever you want to say. And
Yeah.
finally, this is something I teach my authors today, because connection is everything. When you write a book, you have to be connected to everything you write about you. You need to be connected to your topics. You need to be connected to the figures. You need to be connected to your feelings too. And maybe to the angels, or, higher self,
Whatever people believe in. Yeah.
whatever. And, the connectedness also in a circle of writers makes the single author really, really, really strong, as strong as I felt when I was in the Zomba Summer School situation, because I was not alone. So, there were so many people, struggling with the same topics, and that made me stronger than before.
Yeah. So basically going through this journey together with other people makes it easier, even if they're not necessarily doing it for you, but just feeling the collective energy of everyone being with the same struggles and same questions.
Right.
You created your first program, How to Write Your Book in 33 Days.
Yes. How to Write Your Book in 33 Days, right?
Yes. And this has become your signature program.
Yes. Yeah.
And now you have sold it. How many times have you run it since you created it first summer?
So this it's at this moment it's running, and we have the 19th day today. So it's the fifth time I run the course, and yeah. And this is fantastic. I really can say, of course, last year I created 4 courses.
Yeah.
This one I repeated again and again, and I see that in repetition and to doing it again and again, I really learn more and more about the substance and the really important topics for my authors, because I become better and better in teaching this special method of writing, and I see how it works. And we need our human values to write a book too, because we have to be courageous, the courage we need, and the commitment is very important to write a book, the motivation, also enthusiasm, everything has to come together, that you can write a book in 33 days.
Yeah.
And I build up the momentum each day, because I go live each day with my circle of authors. And I really of course I teach some stuff too, but the most important thing is to keep up the energy.
Yes.
When you are in a high energy, you write in the flow, in the mood of flow. And this is the success story of this course, because people really get their book written in 33 days.
Yeah.
The first books now are published, and the first books became bestsellers now from, and that is so fantastic to see those books and the very, very important messages of these books. And
how does it feel?
Yeah,
how does it feel to have basically birthed a new business in 1.5 years, a little bit more than 1.5 years?
I'm still I can't really tell it in words. It's so incredible somehow. And I'm so happy, so thankful that I could find this in that one night, and that I made up this decision in those last 5 minutes before 10, before the deadline was there. And so I really, wow, I can't imagine my life without having done that. And this is so amazing. For myself, it's a miracle too. But this is the miracle I now teach my authors, because there are people, or almost women, they need to, you know, what you gave me, I now can give to my authors.
Yeah.
I encourage them, I show them the way how they can become autonomous in their lives.
Yeah.
And I don't want dependent people.
No.
I want masters. I want them all to become master in their life, in their business. And most of my authors start a new business when they have written their book. I now have this many authors now. They created new offers for their people, new business titles, and only because they have written their books.
Yeah.
And
but you mentioned something that I want to highlight for anyone watching, especially those who tend to create new programs all the time, and you went a little bit there too yourself.
Yes, true.
But now we see the results of launching something 5 times.
Yeah.
Your last launch was the very best one. And you can only do that when you launch again and again the same program. The program itself, of course, that gets better. You said that yourself. But what about the marketing and selling? Isn't that getting easier and easier?
Yes, of course. Yes, somehow it's a miracle again, because you know, I sold this course. It started in January, and okay, for the first time in my life, I made 14,000 euros. You know, this is an amount of money I've in former times I had. Was the half of my year's amount.
Yeah. So you made about 28,000 euro a year as a ghostwriter and editor.
Yeah, 20,000 to say.
20,000. Yes. And now you made 14,000 euro in one day.
Yeah.
What does that, like, you know, how does that feel?
Yeah. Oh my God. I hope I can make up the mindset to keep this, you know, when you experience this for the first time. I think for me, I'm a little bit afraid, you know. This is
that's the money mindset, you know.
The money mindset, of course. This came up, but of course, you know, it's a happiness I can't tell. It's the first time in my life, because I am an artist. I had always been working with artists, and not only with authors, but also with painters. And I had been working in an artist's house in Berlin with famous artists there, and I had led some really great projects there, international projects, and but I never gained money.
Yeah.
Of course, I had enough money to lead my life or so, but it was not that important for me. But somehow I had been always struggling with money, like all the artists I had been known, nearly all, besides the famous ones who had been rich.
It's a starving artist syndrome. It's basically a self-fulfilling prophecy, because you have the feeling you should be poor and just do your art, but then you are just fulfilling that prophecy yourself instead of trying to break out of it. And now you've broken out of it.
Wow.
How did you do your launches? Like, people are maybe curious, like, how do you launch your program? What's your method?
My method is, of course, I have this I learned this launching from you, and I make it somehow in that way. I learned it there in the program, and so I have a webinar, but I don't give it for free. It's a you know, a mini course, a mini workshop, power workshop in 5 hours. It's called Big Bang for Your Book, and there I have, you know, it's always on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays, 3 and 2 hours. And with a big bang, I open the door for my authors to really bring up their book, to give birth to their book in only 5 hours, and to finally find the energy and the wisdom how they can do it. And they go out of this power boot camp with, with a whole outline, and the book is somehow ready to be written.
Yeah. Yeah. So you basically brainstorm and you get the book ready, and now they're like, now I want to write it. So
Yeah, of course, that's it.
Of course.
Of course. Then they had been working with me, they see what they can reach by doing this method, by using those, tools I found to inspire and to open the doors for the muse, the inner muse. And when they see what they can reach in only 5 hours, of course, they start to believe, maybe it's possible to write a book in 33 days.
Yeah. So you decided to now charge. We also do this method from time to time when we launch, but what was the decision from going to doing some like a free webinar or a challenge to doing this workshop over a weekend? What was the decision behind it?
Yes, I started with a free webinar, I learned in the course too. But then I saw maybe my ideal client, it's better to talk to my ideal client. Those who go straight to my 33-day course, that what they have paid for the Big Bang for your book, they get back or counted on the amount. So that's a fair offer for them. And for the others, they get such great value that I decided, they can use those tools for their whole life, and that will support them to write their books on their own. So this is worth 97 euros.
Yeah. And we did exactly the same. March last year, we had, a recession-proof offer. Yeah. And then that led into our now so-called accelerator program, where we teach people how to launch. So yeah, it's a similar concept, like create your offer. Oh, now we want to teach you how to sell it. In your case, come up with your book idea, and now let me help you write it. But did you notice then, obviously, even if you have a low-priced workshop, it still takes effort to sell it. But do you feel that you're getting a more high-quality people into your workshops, and is your conversion rate
it's fantastic? I sold 9 I had 9 participants in my last Big Bang, and 7 bought.
That is fantastic.
Yes, and 6 others had been buying 2 weeks before without having launched.
Yeah,
he bought it right away,
So does this feel easy to you, like compared to the regular way to launch?
My God, it's wow! I'm so astonished. I'm living in a world of surprise now. Yes, it's amazing. I didn't even mention that the course would be running in January, but people are asking me for it, and they heard about it, and they read the first books coming out of my courses, of course from other authors. But this is in 1.5 years for me, even for myself, it's like, it's really, I am the Big Bang myself,
Yes, you are.
Big Bang, it is a Big Bang now, because everything is coming up. I had been working for so hard the last decades, and so Zomba really helped me to get one and one together.
Yeah.
And without that energy, I think I would have never done that, because I needed this push. I needed this push to really jump into the unknown. And of course, I just turned 60, and somehow I'm not that technical affine person. And I do everything by myself, still do it by myself. And I learned to produce my landing page, and write my own, I did all that stuff, that technical.
Even though it was hard, even though it was like, oh, technology is not my friend, you still made it happen.
Of course, and I asked for help. I engaged some people who showed me how I can program those, landing pages, sales pages. This year I want to make up my website. I don't even have a website. Yes, I'm sorry. I didn't get that because I had been working so much last year
Yeah.
that I didn't get the time to build my website, but it's I will do it by myself.
Yeah.
And
What a story that would be if you, made 6 figures in a year and still don't have a website.
yeah, oh my
I'm
God.
not suggesting that you don't do it. Of course, you need to do it at some point. It's going to help you get even more clients.
I wish that. Of course,
Yeah.
I'm working on it, and it's very necessary because I see it. I want to introduce myself also because nobody knows really what I have done before and how many books I really produced, have written. I have founded a publishing house myself. It's called SONNENTOCHTERedition, and I want to reactivate this again. It had been sleeping in the depressive times.
Yeah.
And now I think, okay, it would be fantastic to have the authors, I can, have the offer. They can choose if they want to self-publish or another publishing house. I show them everything, how to write the expose and how to apply at publishing houses. And but they can also publish in my publishing house. So it's their free decision. And I want everybody to be free. And this is what I really love to do. And I see that this is really, it's coming to, what is the word in English? It's like the flower, the author is coming, with, I have been trying to write my book since 20 years or 10 years. And when they really see how it's running, when they use the tools I show them, then, it's like the flower is coming up and they write and write. I have several authors who do every workshop, every course I offer, because they see how they are inspired with this energy inside the courses. And this is, of course, for me, it's wow. Finally, with 60, I really can say, never give up. You can find the possibility. It can show up in a second, in one night. Everything can change, and it's possible to find your purpose. I had been looking for my whole life.
Yeah.
In one night, you never know. I did so. I found my purpose, and this feels great. This is the only reason why I show up here, because normally I'm too, little bit shy to, this camera stuff. And so, but, with this, when you found your why, I finally understand this sentence. When you have a big why, you do everything that is needed. Really.
Yeah.
You do it. You just do it. If you are afraid or not, doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine, Monika, that you were at some point depressed. But,
Yeah.
but I believe you when you say it.
Yeah.
You look like the happiest person on earth.
Yes, I became, of course.
Yeah.
I really feel that way, but yeah, of course. I don't like to talk about that times anymore, because, of course, I will write my next books up.
Yes, you have to write your book.
So many books in my mind, and they are coming. I'm really sure about that. And but when I talk about that time, I still become depressed. And this is when you get, for writing a book, that's good. But, in my normal life, my real life, I don't forget that. And this is all, I think that is the reason why authors come to me with a trauma, too, because I can change the trauma into something they can handle. And they see the deeper sense of everything they experienced. And when they find this and they can talk about this, how I made my way out of, eating struggles, for instance, or and they do nothing more than just telling their story, authentic and real. that is therapy enough. And it's you know, you not only have written a famous book by that way, but also healed yourself.
Yeah, how beautiful is that? And you
Yeah,
are
that's amazing.
yeah, and you are the best example, Monika.
Yes, I really am. And you know, you are my role model. I learned everything from observing you. And I when you launch, I see, okay, how is she doing everything, and how is she, you know, transporting the informations. And then I think, okay, and what I really love about your program is, mm, you never ever said something like, oh, oh, you should do that better or this better, in a way, you know, in a personal way. You only show me the structure, the possibilities, and the, you know, you are always offering, but never criticize me, or you know, I don't know the.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, no, don't. This is something else. Of course, I had been on the hot seat and had been grilled. That's something else. But you never talk into my content.
Yes, no.
No, never ever. And so I have the whole freedom to talk about whatever I want to, and to, you know, create whatever I want to. And this is what I really appreciate, because I know other coaches who really say, okay, and you know, you become more thinner and thinner and thinner. And with your courses, you know, I have the feeling like, yes, I can do everything I want to. I want what I want to share, what I want to talk about, what I want to tell others. I can do that. There is no limitation.
You are the flower that is absolutely open and shining and showing others the way. It's never too late.
Yeah, true.
It's never too late.
Never.
And you can find your purpose at any age and live it, and being so beautifully happy and successful, Monika. Congratulations on your latest launch. You are now a role model, and surely have been for some time, but now it feels like you really are shining. So thank you for being here with me today and sharing your story.
It was a pleasure.
Even if just one person gets inspired to take action, then the goal of our interview has been achieved. But I think we'll have many more that say, Monika, that's exactly what I want to. So thank you so much, Monika. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was fantastic. Thank you so much.